Okay, Miss, well, the
Sally.
camera... I'm sorry?
Sally.
Sally. Sally. I've set the camera up with the lighting you asked for. Do you feel that this is a conducive environment? This is how you'd like to be conducting our session together?
Divine.
Right, okay. And for this session you will be Sally.
I am Sally.
Sally Bowles.
Sally Bowles.
Sally Bowles. Could you tell us something about Sally Bowles?
It's me.
And the story behind Sally Bowles?
The story behind Sally Bowles.
Yes.
The story starts when I'm a small child. In Kansas, I have an ambassador for a dad. Even though it's in Kansas, he's not the ambassador to Kansas, obviously. He goes around the world.
I see.
He's amazing.
And you are aware, as your agent has explained, that you haven't actually had a working engagement with Sally Bowles for an entire year.
I am Sally Bowles.
In fact, you haven't actually done anything for a year. And you seem to refuse to let go of the person that you played in a Wimbledon Theatre production of Cabaret. Do you remember the production?
No.
No. And you don't remember
Theatre is life.
what happened about the production, or your ex-husband, or what happened. Right, yes. This makes you comfortable, as long as this makes you comfortable to relate yourself. I can't really move the camera. That's as long as this makes you comfortable. Do you feel comfortable, Sally? I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think could you sit properly, please? I feel rather uncomfortable as a therapist. If you could, do you find that gives you a feeling of pleasure to do that with your body? Or do you feel uncomfortable when you're just sitting in a regular manner? Can I ask you, do you remember much about before you entered into the rehearsals for the Wimbledon Theatre production?
Wimbledon?
Theatre.
Where's Wimbledon?
That was where you first discovered the character of Sally Bowles.
Berlin! I live in Berlin. This is Berlin.
No.
It's 1932.
This is actually East Finchley.
You must scream. Scream and let it all out.
And I've been asked to speak to you about your obsessive behaviour. You appear to be unable to let go of the personality of... what do you do in the daytime?
I go to the market.
Yes.
I buy a small roll.
Ah.
I eat it.
Oh, and that helps you to keep your figure?
I do. And I drink a lot of prairie oysters.
Prairie oysters?
Prairie oysters, they're divine.
Which market are we speaking of?
It's in Berlin.
Berlin. You're not talking about Camden Market down the Northern Line?
Camden.
Yes. You know the Camden Market where people tend to notice you? This market in Berlin.
There's divine sausages in the market.
Right. After you've claimed your benefits for the fortnight, you tend to...
Yes, my father sends me money.
Yes.
He just adores me, darling. He adores me.
Your father spoke to your agent. He is indeed sending you money. That's about right. Yes.
Yes, but he can't possibly visit me. He's just too busy.
Well, he could visit you, but it's a bit problematic where you're living.
Oh, but darling, he can't visit me.
You keep the door locked and play the soundtrack to the musical all day and all night.
Well, I must learn my lines. I must learn my part. I'm at the workstation every day.
The workstation?
Workstation.
What do you mean by workstation?
Well, it's such a drag, but I just have to go there and I just have to be all the time.
Sally Bowles. Right.
I am Sally Bowles.
And what exactly do you remember about not being Sally Bowles?
I don't remember anything about not being Sally Bowles. I am Sally Bowles.
Does the name Rita O'Brien ring any bells?
No.
Rita Ann O'Brien?
Darling, this
Raub?
is just too tedious.
That's what they used to call you, Raub. Rita
Raub?
Ann O'Brien. Raub. That was your
Sounds horrible.
nickname when you were growing up in Swansea?
Would you like me to make you a prairie oyster?
No, thank you very much. You don't remember much about being Rita at all? Or
I can stop you.
what happened in Camden last week? Or the mental health team? Which you performed a number of hits from the musical for.
Health. Mental health. It was
Yes.
just such a drag.
Well, at least we've managed to get you out of that Basque outfit. Don't you feel cold walking around like that in Camden High Street?
You just have to live. You just have to live the life.
Uh-huh. At least you got the top hat. Well, sorry, the bowler hat. Sally Bowles.
Sally Bowles.
Bowles. Okay, so we've established that you are Sally Bowles, who was invented by a man called... Now, what was his name?
Christopher, darling.
Right,
Christopher Isherwood.
Christopher Isherwood. But you know he invented her.
He didn't invent me, darling.
Uh-huh.
I just am. I just exist.
Do you remember you had a husband called Keith?
Keith,
Yes.
that sounds awful.
He was a stage manager. In the West End. Well, he was. He's more or
Oh,
less...
I would adore to be on the West End.
You live in a house with him. He is kind of beside himself.
Christopher.
No, Keith, your husband.
Christopher.
Keith O'Dowd.
Christopher.
No?
Christopher.
O'Brien, sorry. I've got it wrong. No.
Oh, Brian.
O'Brien. Keith
Oh, I
O'Brien.
know Brian.
Keith O'Brien, the man in the house
Brian is Christopher.
that you keep thinking is Joel Grey.
No.
The one you want to do all the dance
Who's
routines
Joel
with.
Grey?
He was the man who played the Master of Ceremonies in the film.
Oh, the MC.
The
Oh,
MC. Yes,
He is always
Mr.
trying to touch me.
That's because he's your husband and he's been married to you 4 years before you got the part and had what
Ryan
appears to
isn't
be an
the
extended
MC.
nervous
Christopher
breakdown.
isn't the MC.
No, Keith is basically having quite a time of it himself. He doesn't really know what to make of this whole business. Well, first of all, would you at least consider keeping your regular clothes on? Because it's very cold, and we will have an incident like I
I've
had last.
taken off my nail lacquer.
That's a start. I mean, you haven't. I mean, would you ever think about there being? This is. I'm not honestly sure what to say to you. I mean, what do you do during the day?
I've already explained this.
Uh huh.
I go to the market. I sometimes just wander. I live my life. And then I rehearse and I go to the club. Kit Kat.
Yes, there is the club.
The Kit Kat Club.
That's actually a pub in Camden that you've been frequenting. You drink a great deal,
Well, we all do.
and you start singing at a certain point. You become quite famous. There's a lot of tourists tend to come in and watch you.
I am famous. I am Sally Bowles.
Well, yeah, it's like in New Zealand. There was a wizard. There was a man who thought he was a wizard, and now you've become a bit of a tourist attraction in the mixer in
I've
Camden.
been to New Zealand.
And sorry to confuse you. And the result is that they actually let you use the stage anytime there isn't a band on in order
yes,
to
I'm
perform
always let on
cabaret.
the stage.
Did you know you have an encyclopedic knowledge of the play and that you tend to answer questions as Sally Bowles as well?
Yes.
You're not actually Sally Bowles. You're Rita Ann O'Brien. You're not really Sally Bowles. I mean, Keith loves you dearly, but he himself is having quite a time keeping you, and your father is providing money, and you're. But it's getting to the point where it's getting. I mean, you danced down Camden High Street in the outfit, and nearly got run over, and thought it was a round of applause when the bus.
Oh, these Nazis.
Yes, the Nazis, the police officers.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Well, the communists, the Nazis, well, I've met some people that just say you just have to let them take care of each other.
Right. So you basically, what happens when you get to sleep at night? That man, who keeps trying to get into bed with you, that's because it's his bed.
Brian.
No, that's Keith.
Christopher.
Keith, your husband, Keith.
Christopher is Brian.
Keith is the EMC in your house that you live in.
He's the MC?
Yes, he's actually your husband.
I'm not married to the MC.
Yes, you are married to the man you project on as being your MC. Have you ever considered do you know television that they want to film you? How do you feel about being filmed for television?
Oh, I would love to be on television.
Well, as you know, we'd like you to play a long engagement in the Royal Free Hampstead Hospital. It'll be a site-specific performance where there will be a number of people in beds, and you play Sally Bowles, who is visiting.
Will I dance? Will I sing?
You will be medicated for certain, and then it's up to you. But you will be, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's just too tedious.
No, I think they'll find it quite impressive. Adam Ant was in there once. Adam Ant's been in there.
I don't know whether I could take on this such a long engagement. There's so many things in life I need to do.
Well, I'm sure once you've been in the hospital, you'll be able to get back to your life. But for now, I'm afraid I'm going to recommend to your agent that you play a long engagement in the Hampstead Royal Free Hospital
Well, if I must.
ward. But when you go in there, and Keith, your MC, will take you there, you must remember that this is your audience. They'll be a little strange.
Oh, it's all for the audience.
But I'm sure Elvis is there
for
somewhere.
The audience.
Yes. And although they will be a little peculiar, please believe me, they are the audience.
They always are.
Okay, so I think it just remains for me to go and speak to, not Keith, obviously, the MC. Is that right? Would you like to give me some of a little bit of your song before we conclude?
No, darling.
No? You don't wish to sing at all?
I'm just going to save that for my long engagement.
Well, that's marvellous. Thank you. Could you sit properly, please? That's an awfully disturbing pose. I'll just leave the room and you can relax. I'm going to be bringing you something to drink in a moment. I'm sure you need
prairie
it.
oyster.
Absolutely. There's going to be a lot of these prairie oysters.
Make sure there's no toothpaste in the glass.
Absolutely. I'll be back in a moment.
Bye.